what's up, everybody? Come on in the room. Come on in the virtual room. Mi casa, su casa. Yes. You know what it is. Light it up, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on one of our various pages, you are watching on YouTube. Go ahead, get in that comment section. Let us know that you are here. Go ahead, tag a friend. Share this. I'm giving you a lot of time. Go ahead, do what you got to do because we are live. Yes, we are live on another episode of Teen Culture. And today, or tonight, or wherever you're watching from, or maybe you're watching the replay, today, tonight, this afternoon, this evening, whatever, you got it. We are talking about what it means to be mature. Grownish, y'all. And I know this is indeed a rough one because as teenagers, you are in a very unique place in life. You're just coming off of childhood, or maybe you are getting ready to transition to adulthood, depending on where you are in this process, but you are smack down in the middle. And it's frustrating because sometimes you're still treated like a child, but then sometimes you're expected to do adult things. It's very confusing. I know. I've been there before. I've done that, and I don't want to go back, but I sympathize with you. And today, we're going to give you some things that could perhaps help you out in this process. But you know how the thing goes. That's going to be after the panel discussion and also our other segments. Right after our panel, guys, we have an international guest that we're going to be speaking with today, who flew in all the way from somewhere. I'll leave it as a secret, to join us in studio today to grant us this interview access for Teen Culture. All right? And then right after that, we have another musical performance, this time by one of our very own, and she is going to be coming to share some fire with us, y'all. All right? So stay tuned, and I'm going to see you in the next segments and also at the end.
Personally, I do consider myself to be mature. I'm not going to lie about it, but I am goofy at times. About 40% of the time, but I'm 60% of the time mature. What does that mean? It means just basically understanding the way life works, essentially, and how you respond and react to things. I won't say that I respond and react to things in a good way, but yeah, it's just how you take things and what you learn from it, essentially.
For my age, I do a lot of mature stuff because I'm always around a lot of mature people, so yeah, I do consider myself mature.
I feel as though I don't have the full package yet when it comes to maturity. I still have some growing to do, but when it comes to being mature, I feel that the way that I describe it is that being mature is basically just the way that you carry yourself, and not only the way you carry yourself, but the way that you approach life. And I still feel like I have some changing to do.
In a way, yes. And I think maturity comes when you can be able to take over your own life and not depend on much people for like help and assistance, and not doing childish things.
Yes, I do think they consider me to be mature, but they also know that I do have a goofy side. I think personally with them, they grant me the freedom to do a lot of things that I think as an adult I should be able to do. So I consider that a level of maturity in their books.
I mean, yeah, because I don't be around them. Still myself. Ish.
Same thing. They tell me that they see flashes, but I still have some growing to do in that area of my life.
All right.
In between, like from the transition from not being mature to being mature, right in the middle, in between.
I'd say about 40% of the time, maybe 50. I lie, 50% of the time. It's mainly like I could get my point across, but sometimes if it's their way, it's their way, or the highway. First of all, I don't live outside my parents' house other than residence in, university. So technically I have to follow their rules. But they do treat me like an adult when I need to be treated like an adult. Sometimes.
My mommy, I think she really does treat me like an adult because the conversations we have, yeah, 7 people, children conversation.
What about your dad? He treats you like an adult?
When I talk to him,
it's definitely some changes that I'm starting to notice. And my mother, because I live with my mother, I'm starting to notice that she does start to respect my opinions more inside of the household. And just me coming into my own as an adult.
No.
I think they just want to get the feel of how life is going to be, essentially, so it kind of saves them the trouble and the hassle. I would encourage any teen or young adult to try and be independent as much as possible, to the point where you feel like you can handle yourself, and then you get into that rhythm and then in that flow, and then things just start to fall into place, so it kind of eases the burden, essentially.
Because I feel like it all goes hand in hand with social media. I feel like you go on Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever platform that you may be using, and you just see a lot of folks older than you seem like they have it so together, and they don't really understand the process that it goes through to get to that point in life, if you know what I mean. So I just feel like we're all just trying to tackle something a little bit too quick, but all out of good heart though, and good reason.
Mainly because they think they're grown, but they're not actually grown. They just think that since certain things happen, they think they're grown.
Nah, I'm good. That was very traumatizing. I don't know who would want to go back to being a child. I don't like to be fed. I'm okay.
So you'd rather be an adult?
I'd rather be where I am now and gracefully move into that era. I mean, I am a young adult, but as I move into that era, I think I'll be fine.
I'd rather go back and be a child because I'm not ready to pay no bills. I want to be alone. It's mommy that say when you turn 18, out of the house. I ain't ready for that.
I definitely turn back time and go back to being a child because it's a lot of stuff. I'd be a billionaire right now, in all honesty.
Honestly, I would go back and be a child to avoid some of the mistakes I made. Have a better future as an adult.
Hey guys, Young Rev coming back at you, and we are well on our way in season 2 here in Teen Culture. And like what I told you in the first, second, and third episodes, we are doing it bigger and better this year, y'all. Listen, we have a very special guest in studio with us today. This is none other than Elder Deborah Smith, hailing all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. She is a member of the ICF, which is the International Coaches Federation, correct?
Yes.
And she is also a member of St. Paul's, Jacksonville, one of our Gulf churches, one of our friends in ministry, Bishop John Guns. And we are so delighted to have her here today. And she has brought a brand new book, brand new published author, y'all. Yes, brand new book. And the name of the book is called, introduce it for us, Miss Deborah.
Build Your Best Life.
Build Your Best Life. So, Miss Deborah, as you know, this is a show for teens. And when I heard about the book and what you were doing, we just had to have you on Teen Culture here on this season. So I want you to just go ahead, tell us exactly about your book, what inspired it, what inspired you to go ahead and write it and put it out there in the atmosphere, and who exactly is it for?
Thank you so much. I am super excited about my niche. My niche is young males, teenage to young adult males.
Wow.
And the reason why I have my husband and I have raised 3 sons, and we know the things that social media and social interactions outside the home bring in. And then they have other things. So you may have bullying, low self-esteem, kids that are overweight. As you know, suicide is climbing up for our young ladies as well as our young men.
Wow.
They have all of these obstacles coming against them. Hey, what do? They need help.
Wow.
I believe that it's better to train early rather than try to fix later.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful, and I think it's so important that you, who have successfully raised 3 young men, now put your expertise as a parent. You know, you and your husband have done a wonderful job, I'm sure, by the way, but putting these expertise and showing other young men the way, because, like you said, it's almost like a forgotten demographic. Right, we see so many of our young men succumbing to the streets. We see so many of our young men, you know, just falling by the wayside. And I think it's phenomenal that you would take the time and the effort out to help them. But before you go, Miss Deborah, I would just like you just to share some of the tips that you share in the book. Don't give them everything, right? Because we still want them to go on Amazon, and we still want them to go and get a physical copy. But I just want you to share some of the tidbits of how young men can build a better life.
Sure. First and foremost, always love yourself. You are the most important thing in your life. A lot of times we think, oh, it's my parent, or if you have, for some reason, you've gotten a child out of wedlock, you think, well, I have to take care of my child. If you are not 100, you can't take care of that child. So you are foremost number 1. So take care of yourself. That's the main thing. And then think about credibility, your reputation. That was a second.
Wow.
You can lose your reputation in 1 second.
Wow, that's powerful.
But it takes years, tears, and sweat to build your reputation or rebuild it once you lose it. Sometimes your name is the only thing you have. So that is one thing that's in the book that is key. Your credibility, I cannot say enough. That's the favorite thing in my book. My sections are life, action, and credibility. But credibility, if you lose that, my goodness. So to go after that, another thing is don't use these 2 words, never and can't. Don't say you can't do anything. You can do anything that you want. God has given you a purpose on this earth, and you can do whatever it is that He has put inside you. So when you use those words can't and never, that's negative. You're getting a negative mindset. A negative mindset leads to you doing negative things. You want to be positive. Love yourself and tell yourself, I can do anything. Because Muhammad Ali, the story about him is in this book, and you'll be surprised about what it is. But once he said something about it was something he would never do, but he had to do it. Had he not done it, I don't think his dash, that time in between his birth and his death, would have been the same. He would not have been the great if he had not done that thing he said never about. So.
Wow. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I was just getting ready to kind of like just walk off set and just watch the rest of the sermon, right? And just prepare my offering. But, you know, obviously I had to stay to wrap up the interview, right? So listen, guys, if you're just like me, if you were inspired by just that tidbit of information that Ms. Deborah just shared, I want you to go ahead, get the book on Amazon. Let's support a great cause. And at the end of the day, it is all about you. The young man who is watching right now, or the young man that you may know, is all about helping them to build their best life. All right, so right before we go, just tell them where they can find you. Do you have any website, social information you would like to leave and share with them?
Right, yes, my website is www.buildyourbestlife.org. On there, you'll be able to read about my platform, all about me, my web store. You can get your autographed copy of the book as well. When you click on the social media icons, they will take you directly to my various pages, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So that's www.buildyourbestlife.org.
So what I want to do right now, I want to do a live giveaway. First 3 young men to type in the comments, I want to build my best life. What I'm going to do is bless you directly with the book. You can inbox our page, you can inbox our social media page, our church's page, however you find, wherever you're watching this, because obviously we have this broadcasting on so many different channels, but wherever you're watching, you just send us an inbox message after you would have placed that comment, and we're going to be sure to hook you up with a book physically or digitally. Thank you so much for coming, Miss Deborah. Thank you guys so much for watching yet again, and we will see you in the next segment. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Lately I've been in my head, trying to go back to what you said when I'm lost with no direction. And it's hard to keep searching. Told myself I'd make it through. My own words hide the truth. I'm in need of your perspective, 'cause these thoughts were unexpected. Hard to hold on to truth with no absolutes. All I can do is look to the heavens, believe you are listening. I know feelings are fleeting without direction. Take my emotions and give them reason. I'm in need of something new, something that points me to you. Oh, points me to you. You're the only thing that makes sense, even when I stayed in my mess. Every bit of my heart in your hands. Take my words and make it whole again. I may never find the right words. Searching never stops with you. Nothing will ever be the same. Your everlasting exchange. Hard to hold on to truth with no absolutes. And all I can do is look to the heavens, believe you are listening. And I know feelings are fleeting without direction. Take my emotions and give them reason. I'm in need of something new, something that points me to you. Oh, I'm in need of something new. Point me back to you, Lord. I used to hide from the light, but there ain't hiding this time when it's just you and I. See, I just need some time and direction. Oh, so take all that's left of me and make me your masterpiece. Come and give me your direction. I want something unexpected. Come and give me your direction. I want something unexpected. I know feelings are fleeting without direction. Take my emotions and give them reason. I'm in need of something new, something that points me to you.
Hey guys, you know what time is it? It is time for the wrap up. It has been a great show today thus far. And I want to say a big thanks to our teen panel who gave us those honest answers and viewpoints. Big shout out also goes out to Elder Deborah Smith, who is in all the way from Jacksonville, Florida, who participated and dropped some gems as we spoke with her today. Be sure to go and get her new book on Amazon, y'all. Build Your Best Life, and show her some love and support as she also showed us love and support today. All right. Also, we gotta talk about Summer, who brought the heat. Great cover from her today. Summer also serves as the praise team leader in our Impact Youth Church here at Mount Tabor. Great job, everyone. Now, as we wrap up what we were talking about today, I am sure that all of you will agree with this statement. Being a teenager is tough. It's tough, y'all. And it will seem as though you are stuck in the middle of transitioning from childhood to adulthood, and no one understands this transition. You are at a crucial phase in your life, and it's not only important to be understood, but it's also important for you to understand the way forward so that you can make your journey to adulthood just a little bit smoother. Over the next few moments, I want to kind of hash this out with you as we talk about our appropriately entitled theme today, Grownish. Now, earlier, we had asked the panelists if they feel like sometimes their parents don't respect their thoughts and opinions. And we got a mixed bag of reviews, y'all. I would like to let you in on a little secret. Well, to be honest, if you feel this way as a teen, it is totally natural. And your parents is learning how and when to trust you. And this is also a process for them. Now, if you're being honest with yourself, there are things that you can do or don't do that will hurt or help this process. Generally, now you got to be real with yourself. You know when you are doing things to hurt or to help this trust. And sometimes you act surprised with the result. Really, bro? 1 Corinthians 13 and 11 puts it like this. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. So, then, I want to ask you this question, and then, of course, I'm going to answer it for you. What does it really mean to be mature? Mature in the dictionary is defined as being fully developed or full grown, having reached the most advanced stage in a process. Now, for today's definition here on Teen Culture, we're going to use this definition here. We will define maturity as the ability to respond to a situation in the appropriate manner. So in essence, your maturity is found in your response. We have different types of maturity, such as physical maturity, social maturity, intellectual maturity, emotional maturity, and spiritual maturity. What does it mean? Or what doesn't it mean, to not be mature? Maturity isn't necessarily your age. Maturity isn't necessarily your body. Like if you have a full-grown, developed body, yes, that means you are maturing physically. But in the sense of what we're talking about, that's not maturity. Maturity isn't if you get physical hair or you start to get certain physical assets to develop. Maturity isn't even freedoms. Hey, you could stay up a bit later, you could go out a bit later, you can do this, you can do that. That isn't maturity. Maturity isn't when you get to university. Hey, I'm to university, I'm growing now. Maturity isn't even getting a job. Not even getting money. Not even a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Not even knowledge, etc. You get the point. None of those things are necessarily maturity. They are part of your maturing process in different areas and different developments in your maturity, but they are not necessarily maturity. Now, as pertaining to what we're speaking about today, I want to give you 3 marks of a mature person. And here's the first one. Mature people take responsibility. One of the most immature things you can do is constantly play the victim in life. Blame people for what has happened to you, what didn't happen to you. You would blame the government. You could blame your parents. You could blame your friends. You could blame your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, so on and so on. It's a very immature trait. Immature people are always looking for a way to escape the responsibility of their actions. Whew, think I should say that again. Immature people are always looking for a way to escape the responsibility of their actions. And this has nothing to do with age. The sooner you can learn to take responsibility for your actions, the better off in life you will be. The Bible is filled with scripture telling us that we ought to be responsible for different aspects of our lives. We are responsible for our health. We're responsible for our well-being. We're responsible for our relationships. Parents are responsible for their kids. We are responsible for making the decision to receive Christ. It even says that when we receive Christ, that we have to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. So we're even responsible for that. That's responsibility. Here's the second thing. Mature people respond gracefully. Colossians 4:6 puts it like this. Let your conversation always be full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Remember, we said that maturity is found in our ability to respond to situations. The Bible is telling us here that even the words that we speak should be carefully selected for the audiences we entertain. Immature people say whatever comes to mind. They joke around when it's time to be serious. They comment on anything on social media, and they find ratchetness attractive. They are snappy and fast to fight, but don't get me wrong, immaturity is not just being mouthy. You can be immature and also lack response. You can shut down instead of answering people, or perhaps avoid the conversation or confrontation. The Bible says that a soft answer turns away wrath, not a mouthy one, or none at all. Not dealing with situations does not make you mature either. The scripture is saying here that we ought to respond tastefully and gracefully. And number 3, mature people realizes the importance of needing others. Now, this is not opposed to what we had talked about earlier, but this is rather cohesive. Mature people realize the importance that other people will play in their lives. They realize that they cannot be a loner and be successful in life, that they should not burn bridges or constantly gossip or make enemies if they stand a chance of making it through life. I realize that it doesn't really benefit you to have much enemies or enemies at all. And I'm not saying that everyone is going to like you, and you are going to be a mature person and you'll find that out. But it's not about mutual like for people, but the respect that we should have for everyone and the God-given love that we should display. So be careful of how you treat people and your parents along the way, because mature people know that life is a cycle and you will never get away from the fact that you are going to need people. Okay, y'all, I know I said 3, but I want to give you a bonus. And here's it. Mature people realize that they need God. The Bible says, acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. One of the most immature and arrogant things you can do in life is live without God. But I'm not talking about just accepting him and being a professing Christian, because I'm pretty sure most of us are. But I'm talking about Christ being a part of your life. Now here's the thing. Mature people realize that they need God. And a lot of times we see that people would often come to God as an adult. And the reality of it is, we feel as teenagers that we are invincible, that we can go and, nothing's going to happen to us. We could party, we could live free, we could do this, we could do that. And a lot of times, it comes to sometimes a point where we realize it. Boy, you know what? I'm really going to need God if I get through this life. So I'm just telling you the cycle that so many have taken before. And I'm just sharing with you that if you, like the scripture says, remember your creator in the days of your youth, you would be better off for it. All right, guys, so I know I gave you a whole mouthful, a whole airful today, and we had a whole lot of fun, but I just want to stop it, cap it, rest it down right there, let you process that until we come back next week. All right, so it's been good, guys. See you next week on the next episode of Teen Culture, and thank you for tuning in thus far. Your boy Young Rev signing out. Peace. Do you consider yourself to be mature? If so, what does that mean to you?